What is up, guys? Today I want to talk to you about what happens to your brain when you watch pornography. Now let's be honest, 99% of guys watch porn, so don't feel bad if you're one of them. I haven't watched porn for 2 whole years, and I watched porn pretty much my entire life, like everybody else. And I have to tell you that the improvements after you stop are amazing. Let me explain to you what goes on inside your brain when you start watching porn. Essentially, our brains have been evolving for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years, and we are not equipped to handle the high-speed internet porn that we see today. Essentially, our reptilian brain is programmed to reproduce with any female that we see. So there's something in our brain called the Coolidge effect, that when you mate with a female, your interest and arousal in her goes down, but when you're presented with a new female, your interest and arousal goes right back up to its peak to mate with this new female. And then when a new female comes in, you get your interest and arousal right back. And this is why it's so hard to be in a one-woman relationship for many guys, because they're genetically coded to seek to reproduce with every woman that they can. This is what your brain and your body wants to do for the species. It's to survive and to reproduce. Well, long story short, pornography gives us maybe 100 different sexual partners every single day, and your brain does not know that you're looking at a computer screen. So the problem with this is that over time, your brain starts to release unnatural levels of dopamine for unnatural amounts of time when you're watching pornography. Your brain wants to seek reward, and like I said, it wants to reproduce. So in order to get you to reproduce, when it sees a beautiful woman, it produces dopamine. It sends out dopamine, and it's the motivation chemical to make you go over there and have sex with this woman. So when you're watching porn, you get so much dopamine flooding into your brain at a higher level than you do when you're watching sex, because of how ridiculously HD and how many fantasies there are. But you also get it for longer. See, in real life, if you were having sex with one woman, you would get your dopamine spike. You'd have sex for however long you had sex, and over time your dopamine would level out and you'd ejaculate and you would finish. But with the Coolidge effect in action, with porn, every time you start to get bored with a video, as you would with a regular girl, and your natural levels of dopamine go down, you click to a new video. And an Australian study actually shows that it's not the women or the sex in the videos, but it's every time that they switch to a new video, the men, they regained their erections and they became more aroused when they were testing them. Over time with the same video, they started to lose their erections, and as soon as they changed to a new video with a new girl, everything came back. So it's this novelty, and it's the Coolidge effect, all having a combination to really mess your dopamine levels up. So as I was saying, as you're watching the porn and you keep clicking to a new video and a new video and a new video, your dopamine keeps rising, and it rises again, it spikes again, it spikes again, and it's at ridiculously high levels for very, very long. And this, like any other drug, like methamphetamines, like cocaine, this unnatural level in dopamine is what causes you to become addicted. So over time, if you're like most guys, then over a course of 10 years, because you started watching porn when you were 10 years old, like most guys do, your dopamine receptors start to downregulate to accompany the high levels of dopamine that you get with porn, because throughout history, we never got levels of dopamine like this. We never had 20 sexual partners in an hour. And to your brain, it's saying, oh, I don't need this guy to seek reward because there's plenty of reward here already. So it naturally downregulates your dopamine sensors, and your dopamine sensors actually start to die off. You start to have less of them. So this is why you see guys needing more hardcore porn. They watch porn more often. They start watching 3 or 4 times a day. And this is when guys become hardcore porn addicts who cannot stop watching porn 6 to 7 times a day. And if you're not a hardcore porn addict, this is still affecting you if you're watching porn once a day. Because what happens is this downregulation, it starts to trickle off into everyday life. And this is why guys cannot get aroused and start to suffer with ED with a real woman. A study showed in Cambridge that men who watched porn, 50% of them could not keep an erection with a woman. But they had no problem keeping an erection while they were watching porn. This is insane. What does this tell you? You are addicted to this stuff if that is the case. And the only solution, if you can't get an erection with a woman, is to stop watching porn. Where was I? Essentially, this downregulation of your dopamine sensors, it doesn't just trickle into sex life. It makes your regular life very bland, because you're getting normal amounts of dopamine from everything you do, from hugs, from food, from seeing a beautiful sunset. You get dopamine. And when you have less sensors, then it's less potent and you don't get as much of the feel-good feeling that the feel-good hormone dopamine is supposed to give you, because the high levels of dopamine of using porn every day have downregulated your sensors. So this is why people, when they start watching porn in their teens, they start to get chemical imbalances and they start to get anxiety and depression in their 20s. And this happens to so many people. Then they have to go on Zoloft and Paxil because their doctors don't know any better. And it can ruin your life. I had an anxiety disorder, and as soon as I stopped watching porn, well, not as soon as, but maybe a year after, I was anxiety free. And it might take you 2 years, but your depression and anxiety and social anxiety especially may be 100% because of your porn use. So I just wanted to tell you what's going on inside your brain when you watch porn and why you crave it so much. It's proven that you don't crave sex, you crave porn. It is proven that porn addicts do not crave sex and do not have a sexual appetite that is higher than someone who doesn't watch porn. It's true. So you're not addicted to sex. You're not a horny bastard. You're just addicted to porn. And I can leave you with one thing. It's just that not watching porn for a course of years or 2 years, you get back to your normal dopamine levels and your sensors restore to how they were when you were a kid. And just touching a woman's skin gets you aroused and gives you a boner. And sex is amazing and life just feels so much better. Guys talk that they get their zest back. They're more motivated. They have less social anxiety, and it's so worth it. There's 99% of guys watching porn. I don't know about you, but I want to be in the 1% that's crushing it and having an incredible sex life and actually enjoying that sex. So the choice is yours. All I can do is present the knowledge to you. Subscribe if you want to hear about new ways to become a better man. Thanks, guys.